Okay, day 92, Braverman, Haiti, and me. Eric Braverman told me to follow the money, the arms, the oil, the pipelines, and the rat lines. That kind of breaks down to looking at USAID that he set up in Haiti. Look at vaccines, that PPD, the drug company that he was the CEO of, Mr. General Grange. You know what? Anytime a general is the head of a drug company looking for vaccines, you have to wonder. I know they're going to say leadership and so forth, but you're going to see the Duke Medical School and Duke being involved here. And then anywhere I see this where the loan application is on the phone, the loan is on the phone, that is also a place to look for kidney harvesting. And then I'm going to say it, organ cruises, people going down to get new kidneys and hearts. And flying the hearts back to Duke. I'm going to also say that is, or anywhere in the United States since the new airport went in. So, everyone is kind of reacting of like organ harvesting. How could this possibly be true? Well, again, I say I have proof. There's a videotape of the bodies going into body bags with the hearts cut out in Syria and in Libya. So, again, this whole series has been Syria, Libya. Well, then it turns out to be true in Haiti. So I will prove that. But first, update on the 650,000 emails. You all know about this. They want the 5 years to look at them, and then there's 19 Gmail accounts rather than 18, which is Hillary's, which I forgot Hillary's. We all know about the $675,000 bribe, and he hasn't recused himself and all that stuff, and the destruction of evidence. But what did come out a week ago, and I really didn't give this enough attention, is this 811 referral. And 811, this comes from the 1995 Intelligence Act, which is basically we want to improve communication between the intelligence agencies. We want this 911 capability, this ability to send this referral to another agency to say, you guys got to get on this. This is really important. And it specifically refers to when classified information is being sent to a foreign government or foreign power. And that is the 811 referral, if you look it up in the notes below. McCullough is the Intelligence Community Inspector General, so it's ICIG is what they call him. And McCullough sends the FBI in July of 2015, this referral, which says in the 300 documents that the FBI released last week, that three governments have hacked this classified information. I think it's going to be all the 650,000 emails on Anthony Weiner's server. One friendly, Israel, and two hostile, China and Russia. And here's Judge Napolitano saying exactly that on the Lou Dobbs show, okay, about 1 week ago. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew that. Now, I believe, through other documents I've received, that Anthony Weiner here, I also believe this whole sex thing is fake, just like to portray us fake. It's a diversion. I know that people say that's not true, it couldn't be true, but actually I think this is the connection here to Ehud Barak. Ehud Barak is the foreign minister of Israel. And if anybody doesn't know Ehud Barak, he's if you're from Israel, he's Mossad. Okay, there's just no two ways about it. I think he came up as being a Mossad agent and so forth. But the information's going to Barak. I'm also going to show not today, but I can show in further documents that then it's being culled. The good stuff, the stuff that they don't want to send on to Saudi Arabia is being pulled. That is then going on to Saudi Arabia, and then Saudi Arabia is pulling some stuff and then sending it on and reselling it to Qatar. And that's how we get all the way around the loop here. So I'm making that claim today for Preet Bharara. So if you can choose to investigate it or not investigate it, but that is going to be proven here, whether you like it or not. Again, we have the police chief, the hero in this play here, Robert Boyce, saying those 650,000 emails contain child exploitation, sex crimes, perjury, obstruction of justice, money laundering, pay to play. Okay. They also contain information about Hillary's 6 trips to Epstein's Island, Bill's trips to Epstein's Island, and we can also place Barak in Epstein's island. He's also a frequent visitor. So much like the emails, Jeff Epstein's plane routes, just like email routes, tie this whole thing together. So we're going to move on to Jeff. Here's Ehud Barak right here. Oop, I misspelled his name. Shouldn't have a C in it. Shouldn't have two R's. Sorry about that. But, you know, Ehud Barak ties to Bob Maxwell. Bob Maxwell is the super spy for Israel. He's the Israeli Mossad, kind of like James Bond. He's the one who did all the NATO brownstones, this brownstone operations where you film people having the sex. His daughter, Ghislaine, is the one who worked with Jeffrey Epstein to get all these young girls to the island. So she went to Hillary's wedding and so forth. Bob Maxwell's supposedly dead. Mark Rich is supposedly dead. Ken Lay is supposedly dead. Joe Paterno is supposedly dead. You know, all these guys that ran brownstones. I think they're all in Tel Aviv, but that's just my opinion. I'm not going to try to prove that. I'm going to just stick with the facts here. There's 3 cases going. There's 142 kids. All these kids, by the way, who settled, can reopen the case because the government did not disclose that the government was involved in these cases. The government is also a defendant if they were involved in setting up this operation to exploit children. It's basic law. If Dershowitz makes a deal with these people and doesn't disclose the fact that this was a government-run operation, they can reopen the case. So Drumheller, you know, and these guys work together hand in hand. I can tell you that right now in Europe. And when you put Barak in at Little St. James, now Parit has to go and get all the cell phone records of everybody who was in Jeff Epstein's little black book. Everybody who was in his black book. You have to get the cell phone records and look at where they were, because the cell phone will place people on a minute-to-minute basis. Here we go again. This is where you have to at least release the metadata. Who are the people? This is the 811 referral. This is our national secrets going to Israel, Russia, and China. If Trump doesn't at least know who the people were and what the topics were of those emails and the dates, he is flying blind. He could be sending CIA agents to their death tomorrow. At least the metadata needs to be released of these documents. And showing it to them in secret and not showing the public is worse yet, because now we think Trump is making side deals and back deals for his own benefit. This just gets worse if you don't publish at least the metadata right now of who the 19 people were. Okay, we know some of them. We know Patrick Kennedy. We know Kerry. We know Mills. We know Sullivan. We know the people who Pagliano. We know the people who got immunity are going to be on this list. We know obviously Hillary. But we need to unhook the whole thing. For instance, if Jack Lew over here is doing a secret treasury slush fund to fund black ops in Haiti and different countries, then we need to know that, because we need to stop it. So there's so much tied to this. Okay, and I'll take Haiti as a good example. I'm ready now to name the NGO that I feel, after looking at all the NGOs involved in Haiti here and the development in north of Haiti, you have to look at the NGOs that come in. The NGOs are non-government organizations that do good work, basically. They're do-gooders, as they said in Wizard of Oz, okay? So if I come into Port-au-Prince with, let's say, Médecins Sans Frontières, these are the doctors, and they set up the tent, and they bring people in, and they're doing operations, and everything's going along just fine. And that's great. That's a great operation. But if I come in with helicopters, which they did, with a Delta Force team, immediately do a cordon off an area, go get the people who are wounded, immediately set up a medevac, start figuring out triaging who's going to die and who's going to live, all of a sudden set up secret tents with, out here, I'm going to take a helicopter out here. All of a sudden I'm helicoptering people that are near death. You don't know what kind of butchering happened with these out here, but that's what happened. That is what happened. There was this kind of helicopter traffic out to the middle of this field. There was no earthquake damage out here. So what the heck were all those UN peacekeepers out there setting up this quick medevac field and doing all this, battlefield butchery out there in the middle of that field? Then I think just became, hey, since this was a place where it's away from all, eyes, the prying eyes of Port-au-Prince, well, that's where we'll build the hospital, because it's right on the key road. So the NGO I'm saying is that NGO that comes in like that with the military is an NGO called Team Rubicon, and I'll name the doctor tomorrow. But again, I don't want to impugn the whole, and the last 4 of my videos have been it's not the whole team. It's a subset of the team. And it's the team that comes in at night to do the cleanup. That's where the organs are going. The reason why you build the international airport here is not just so that you bring people down in cruises and have them have their heart, look at the showroom of the medical school here and then fly them down for the heart operation in Mirabile. You also can fly these organs back to Duke Medical Center, or you can fly them back to, New York or, Miami or wherever. You have an hour. A muscle is a heart. The heart is a muscle, excuse me. You have an hour. The cardiologists call it the golden hour. You start getting ischemia, where lack of oxygen starts causing some cell death. But if you get it on ice quick, I think you have about 6 hours. So a fast helicopter ride here to Mirabile would not be out of the question at all. Probably only an hour helicopter ride, and you could get this to Miami in 3 hours, and probably to Duke in 4 hours. I'm just guessing. People can check my timing, but I do believe you have 6 hours of the hearts, and they're always working for more time of the hearts. I think with kidneys you have up to 24 days, I believe. Doctors out there can check me on that. But I do believe they're always working on how to get the heart out quickly and reduce the cell death as much as they can. So again, I'm not making these comments because I've just dreamt it up. I mean, when I see an actual film of DynCorp with the white helmets, in this video, if you watch it, they're taking the people in an ambulance across the border in Aleppo to. They're doing the triage, doing the organ extraction in Aleppo, and then the ambulances are taking the bodies and the hearts to across the border in Turkey. And again, here's the Director General of Syria saying 15,000 organs are missing from Syrian children. So, and again, we have the macabre artwork, we have the macabre cake with extraction of the heart. We've got the Thai situation where we're losing a lot of kids, and there's organ harvesting accusations in Thailand. We've got the same players involved. We've got the email saying, Kadzik, Peter Kadzik's on this email about this heart email. It's kind of like, I didn't put rape, pillage, and plunder on my business card. This is Dr. Fleischiker, not Dr. Fleischiker, but this is the guy who sent that email about, hey, Pam is doing well. This is his wife. So I believe that it's Team Rubicon, and I'll say that right here. And you can sue me if you like, but I think you're going to be sorry because you're going to make a big mistake. So Monica Peterson, again, don't have this master's thesis. I did see, though, that she did outline a lot of these things, and we just need more proof. But that we're still looking for more information about Monica Peterson. But I did see, well, before we go to that, I want to do more investigation here on the drug trials that are being done on PPD. I actually think that most of the cholera deaths are just toxicity deaths from drug trials. And if the organs weren't tainted, like the kidneys tend to get tainted, the liver tends to get tainted with these drug trials. But I believe the heart is okay because the heart's not doing any filtering, it's just doing pumping. So I believe most of the cholera deaths are going to be these drug trials. And I believe UNICEF is going to be the one doing the patient populations as far as the sampling goes. And here, Bill Swing is going to be moving folks in across the Dominican Republic here into this area to settle this land and to partition Haiti. And it's going to be exactly according to what they did in the Congo and what Joe Wilson did in the Sudan. And this is what they're doing in Mombasa, right now in Haiti. I'm convinced now with the gold mining. The only difference is it's not uranium, it's gold. And I'm going to say right now that Lucas Lundin is the one that's running the operation with Frank Giustra. So I'm not going to cover this page today, but I will say that they changed the name of this center. Claude Destry changed the name of his center from CHORE to CHORE or something like that. And I believe the reason is because the CIA always has these funny names like Diane Corp, kind of play on words, kind of a wink to everybody else who's in the corporation, like, you know. And I think CHORE has some kind of wink. I don't know if it's to do with umbilical cords or what, but I think CHORE had that kind of overtone, so they changed the name. So that's the update there. Pug Winokur, I think if we look back to his involvement in Enron, that's why I say Ken Lay is still alive. If we look back to his involvement in Enron, it's the same thing. It's the go in and grab everything you can and then leave the thing to collapse, you know. So that's it for this morning, and we got more stuff coming later today.